Good morning, America! Slept good last night, even though my mattress is right there. Yeah, I just put it on top of the couch I picked up yesterday. It worked. It actually worked fine. I just couldn't move around very well. Speaking of positive things, this morning, or last night, I had somebody reach out about me doing some yard work. I was like thinking about if I wanted to take it, and because my schedule's not like super full, I said yeah, I can do some yard work. She said, "Is 9 a.m. good, and what's your rate?" She was talking about 9 a.m. in a few days. I was like, I typically charge $25 an hour. She was like, I typically pay people $20 an hour for assistance. My response is, I'm honest, reliable, and hardworking. And with taxes and paying gas and trying to save for insurance, it doesn't really make sense logistically for me to charge $20 an hour. Because like I'll literally pay like $4 or $5 in gas to get there. And then on top of that, I spend 30 minutes driving round trip. And then on top of that, I have to pay insurance, or not insurance, taxes. So I have to take like, it's going to be about 30%, I think, off the top. Which is already a lot. I mean, and then on top of that, I'm trying to save for business insurance and pay for all the other business expenses. And it's like, well, that does not work out to be very profitable because of overhead. So we'll see. I may not pick up work, but something else that also, something that tells me is that, and I like this, is that my services are in demand. This door does not stay open. I don't know why. This Band-Aid came off. I started blistering. Poison ivy is blistering so bad. Come on. Anyway, so it felt good to be like, to charge a higher rate, because what it means is I'm not gonna undersell myself. Which, I might undersell myself, I'd say, in like some time when I'm getting better at doing some of the handyman stuff. And maybe I'm as proficient as somebody who charges $35 an hour, but I'm still charging $25 an hour. I don't mind underselling myself for a time so that people get my word out there, and then I'll start selling my time. But I mean, I'm gonna book weeks out, I think. I hope that's the goal. But we need word of mouth to spread, and underselling can be a good way of getting word of mouth, because people will feel like they got a bunch of extra, they'll feel like they got more value than they paid for, and they'll want to share that with everyone else. So, I mean, I don't know exactly at what point it's worth underselling, but especially because this was yard work, and it's like, I'd rather do handyman work. I know I can, at this point, I have not exhausted my methods of selling handyman work, so I can sell more handyman work. I don't know. Yard work, not as big. If I feel like I'm not booking my schedule out, I might take it, but mostly trying to get handyman. Alright, got the workout and the shower in. I'm gonna hit some Chipotle. Oh wow, this thing can... I have to say, I'm getting a bit overwhelmed with all the stuff I need to do, all the pieces that I need to put together in order to achieve my goals. I mean, I think I have to remind myself, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a lot of random stuff, a lot of things have to come together, it's gonna be a ton of work, but at the end of that, look at where you're gonna be, and knowing like, okay, sure, it's gonna be a ton of work, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be a month of working all day and studying all day just to cover ends meet, but at the end of that, I can now market, I'm licensed and insured. Which it'll be, oh shoot, I don't know, I can't, hard time seeing behind me in this van. And I'll be able to charge, like, honestly, I could probably start charging $30 an hour straight off the bat. Because the thing is, like, I actually have a good start to the handyman skill set of just, like, I'm actually not bad at fixing things. So it's, like, I probably can get away with selling at $30 an hour, or potentially just bidding the jobs out and making way more than that. As soon as I have business insurance, I'll be, yeah, you know, as soon as I have all these pieces come together, I can work with any businesses too. That Chipotle was good and healthy, which, in my opinion, is the perfect combo. Okay, this is good. Finished working for, we're still working on trimming out the top of the doorway. We got one, hopefully tomorrow I'll get pretty much everything done there. It's nice working with this customer. She is happy to pay my rate. See, that's the other thing. So this morning, this person was like stressing over $5 an hour. I have customers that are just more than happy to pay my $25 an hour rate. And so that tells me my value, and I don't know why. I would rather work with somebody who's not going to stress it and like is happy to pay me whatever to do the job. And so I actually am probably going to work with this person that I was talked to this morning, but still, it goes to say, like, I don't have to stress. Like, I can just tell them my rate, and if they don't want to pay that, like, if they're not comfortable with that, it's totally chill, and they can find somebody that is within their rate and within their budget. But I don't have to feel an obligation to work with them. So one of the things with this, I'm listening to a handyman podcast where they interview, like, people that have been successful starting a handyman business. And they said one of the common things when starting out is for new people to undervalue themselves. And so, and you know, it's not even that I want to charge more. It's that I want to be able to reinvest into the business. At this point, it's like cover my base needs and reinvest into the business so that I can provide a better customer experience. Or I need to be able to get licensed and be able to pay for these things. And I can't do that if I'm charging $20 an hour. And here, the thing with pricing, like, I wouldn't mind pricing lower at like $20 an hour because I actually enjoy doing what I'm doing. But the problem is I literally will not have enough money to survive, to feed myself, and then also do the business side. Like, it's going to cost me like $500 to get licensed. I have to put some money into the van and fix the exhaust and fix the air intake and power steering. And I have to be able to pay taxes, and I have to be able to pay for rent. And so, like, if I could, like, I quite literally cannot charge $20 an hour and have it be sustainable with all these, with the actual expenses of running a business. Hi, thank you. Boom, iced coffee. Bro is dual wielding leaf blowers. I love it. I want to see somebody with 2 gas backpack leaf blowers just dripping with, I don't know how you'd fit that on, but like 2 heavy duty leaf blowers. You get one in the front and you get one on the back. That's how you do it. That'd be insane. Okay, talk to the apartment lady. Everything sounds good. I should be good to move in a few days here. Her current roommate is moving out, so I'll just basically swap. Yeah, I mean, shouldn't really be anything that would mess it up. She seems like she wants to make it work, and it's not a crazy nice apartment, but for $550 a month, it's plenty good for me. And I mean, it's gonna be, there's a kitchen, so that's probably most apartments have a kitchen, but anyway, I can cook there. So hopefully, my plan is to cook breakfast and then skip lunch and then maybe eat out for supper. That way I can save money. Potentially it could work to cook breakfast and then after work cook supper and eat and fast during the day, which could be nice to not have to think about eating in the middle of the day. So I don't know exactly how that's gonna work, but it's cool. It's in a good location for where I plan on working, so that's another benefit. You know, everything's good there. Pretty cheap. I gotta walk the dog, which there might be some negotiating with like how that can work. At some point I might even just hire a dog walker and outsource that when the business is doing better. But for now, for the cheaper rent, I'll walk the dog and hopefully work in my run at the same time. On my way to do a weeding / handyman job. This lady's fences doesn't latch right and kind of falling apart, so I'm gonna put some fresh screws in it, or maybe a big bolt instead. But anyway, get that working good, and then she has weeding for me to do as well, so good. I don't love weeding. I don't have very many clients booked for weeding though, so that's good. We're slowly phasing it out. Okay, finished up this job. I did some weeding. I love not at all weeding pavers. I mean, it's not. I guess I don't hate it. It's really detailed work, and it takes a long time, but it looks pretty good once you do it. Anyway, I also did some handyman work. I fixed this lady's fence gate. It took me a total of 1.5 hours and $12 of hardware. So that's just some longer bolts, and I had to make some cuts. It was honestly a little bit more complicated of a repair than it would have been hard for an average homeowner to have the tools and the insight to successfully pull it apart and actually fix the way how the gate was messed up. Anyway, I'll throw some pictures up there. I've been thinking about the priorities. Right now, it's to keep making money every day so I can afford rent and other expenses, and then also second to that is to get moving forward on everything I need to do to get my residential builder's license, because that's a long process and I want to get started as soon as possible. So I'm gonna get my birth certificate shipped to the apartment because it sounds like that's gonna work out. So hopefully just a few days after I go to the apartment, I'll get my birth certificate. I'll order a package from Amazon to the apartment so I can have proof of address, and then I'll take in the required documents and should be able to walk out with a paper copy of my driver's license and get the other copy, my plastic copy, on the way to the apartment. Once that is done, the next step will be to buy an accredited pre-license residential builders course. So I have to take 60 hours of pre-license work. I don't know what that price is going to cost. The one I saw was like $350. I'm hoping there's a cheaper option, and that's an online thing. And then I also need to officially register my business and do some work there. All of those things, having an address is going to really help. But so a lot of work to be done just on the book side, not actually physical work. My goal is to, as soon as I'm in the apartment, I'll have a better space to do work. So like when I get home at the night, I can like go and sit down on a laptop, which I'll need to buy a laptop, and actually sort some of this out and organize it better, because working through a phone is not optimal in my opinion. I like a laptop format better. It's bigger and easier to navigate. So a ton of like bookkeeping work, because I also need to. It also takes time for the LLC to get started, but anyway. So I have a lot of things to get going, but first step is getting my birth certificate, and at least I know what I need to do now. So that's the biggest. I didn't really know what I needed to do before. Whoopsie. So the phone calls and research I've done is really important, because now I know exactly what needs to happen, what documents I need, for the most part anyway, and then yeah, just get that process started. I'm definitely not going to get my residential builder's license in the next month. It'll be I think halfway through the November, so probably about 50 days from now. If I expedite everything as much as I can, that's like the soonest. It may end up taking longer. What I'm looking at for a study schedule is going to be pretty like rigorous. So where I work 6 hours a day, study for 2.5, and walk the dog, and work out, and edit a video, and eat, and shower. I mean, that's honestly, for the most part, pretty much everything I'll need to do. But that's a lot of work. That's a lot of time and energy, and it would be looking at like 13-hour days for a month straight. And then I have to find other time to like keep working on the business, doing research for customer projects and everything. So we'll see. I'm hoping I can get all 60 hours in 30 days, though. That would be the goal. But because that's 2 hours a day, and then I'm anticipating some like extra study time where I pause the video and do some research and make sure I really understand the coursework. And on top of that, I might even need more studying, because it's entirely possible for it to fail, or for me to fail the test if I'm not well educated enough. I think passing was a 75%. They're multiple choice questions, 150 question exam. So lots of things going forward. I'm hitting Home Depot. I got a customer that wants me to put some door hinges on. Their old ones rusted out, so I'm looking for stainless steel 4-inch door hinges. They might be rather expensive, like $14 a piece. And when you get 6 of them, it adds up, but if you don't want them to rust. They had no stainless steel hinges there. I also took a look at the power tools. Oh boy. Am I gonna get some power tools? Thousands of dollars worth. I'll probably buy some off market. I decided it's gonna might make sense to just buy some off marketplace, buy some new, depending on how much I need it at the time and the price difference. There's some sets that buying new makes more attractive. It's not crazy priced. Well, yeah. It's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to be done. Luckily, in some ways, having a slower, like in the next month, I'm really not going to be able to make that much physical progress, because I'll be spending all my time studying and working, and I don't know that I'll have much money to spare. Maybe if business does well and I start making a bunch by bidding stuff out, that could if I had extra money coming in, then I might have money to spare for buying tools and equipping and just setting everything up better. But right now, I don't know, based off my numbers, I'm gonna have like $550 in rent, $80 in DTE, $260 in car insurance, and then $400 in gas, and then, which maybe less this month, I don't know, I paid about $400 last month, and then that's already $1,200 out of I'm expecting to make $2,700 next month if I book as many hours as I'm planning. And it's just like, and then I gotta buy tools, I gotta do all the business stuff, I gotta pay $500 to get licensed, I gotta pay for my course. I gotta, you know, buy everything for living in an apartment. It's gonna be tight, but if I were to make closer to like $4,000 next month, I'd have a lot more extra money to invest back into the van. And I just know it's not all gonna happen at once, and I'll go as fast as I can. I want to get started on this licensing sooner rather than later. It's such a strong marketing point that I would like to work on it. And there's a lot of time limitations with it, so I think it's worth prioritizing getting licensed. But it's like, again, it's like, okay, there's a lot to do, but once I do it, the position I'll be in, it will be very good. I'm in a job I like, doing things I like helping people, making money, growing a customer base, learning a ton, and I don't see a trajectory other than up. Even in just like life satisfaction, I just think handyman is going to make sense. I'm going to probably not take on all sorts of work, but I'd like to be kind of a general fix-it guy, so customers can be to me, like, come to me with all sorts of different problems, and I'll be well equipped to handle that. So like random things that they have happen, I'd like to have fairly dynamic set of tools, knowledge, and supplies, so that I can handle dynamic random problems, and maybe not take on bigger jobs. That might also help me get more exposure to the industry and help me find out what I enjoy doing the most. And then, you know, in maybe 6 months to a year, I see some things that I really enjoy doing and I'm better at, and I'll just narrow that down to my entire work catalog, or like that's all I do. So, you know, maybe it's painting or trim work or gutter cleaning or whatever it might be. So some cool options there. I think for now, I don't think I have to specialize. I think if I find a customer base of people that just need stuff fixed, like normal homeowners, doorknobs tightened, curtain rods installed, siding repaired, all sorts of things like that. If I start building a customer base there, you know, I think I can do well. Like, you know, replacing a door hinge. That's something I can do. And it'll give me a lot of exposure to different stuff. And then from there, I can decide what I really enjoy. So I think that's the play going forward. But I'm just pulling up to Lowe's. I will check here for the stainless steel door hinges. Alright, I didn't see any door hinges, but I sent the customer a link to some door hinges, some stainless steel door hinges from Amazon that they can have shipped there. Now I'm basically looking at all these tools and getting ideas for pricing and how I want to stair step my way up to nicer tools. Like $600 for a chop saw. Now I saw one very similar to, and then this one's $330, very similar to this style on Marketplace for $170. So that would be a situation where I'd probably buy it from Marketplace. But then I saw like an orbital sander for $160. Then Marketplace, it was like $100, and then it's used, and then I have to drive 30 minutes, pay for gas, drive 30 minutes each way. So like, it'll kind of, I guess, depend on my time constraints too at the time, and how much I need it. If I need it right away, then go and buy it. And I'm looking at some sets. There's some different sets of tools. Honestly, I was thinking about it strategically. It might make more sense to build this tool set slower, so maybe over the course of 3 months, but more strategically, making sure it's all the same brand, selling my current brand, with time savings in mind. So like really investing in good tools so that the next 9 months of business I can actually get stuff done efficiently, because I have a super efficient tool setup. Because yeah, I think that's gonna make sense. I mean, especially right now, it doesn't look like I'm gonna have time or energy to build this set quickly, or money. So like building slower and more methodically is probably gonna pay off, and then that'll also allow me to build organization in the van as I get more tools. Yeah, and then things like a vacuum. I think I'm gonna try to keep completely battery powered if possible, because I'll be working out of my van. It'll just save time. And doing smaller jobs, it's typically not gonna make as much. Like if you're framing all day, it's probably not worth using a framing nailer, a battery powered framing nailer. If you're framing a couple boards, it's easier to grab a framing nailer and punch that in. So with smaller jobs, it's gonna make more sense to go with battery, probably, for the most part. But like, you could get a vacuum for cleaning up customers' property, leaf blower, palm sander. I've had a couple projects that I would have used that on. Skill saw, definitely. This is 6.5 inch. The one I have is like 5.5 or 4.5 or something small. Mechanic, like impact wrench. Definitely gonna want that. Oh, big boy one, 350. Well, it looks like there's some different sizes. Angle grinder, that one will be a sooner purchase because I have some metal work I want to do in the van. I'll need to do a lot of metal work for like cutting shelves and stuff. Heat gun, I haven't needed that yet. Impact, I'll need that. I actually should get one sooner. Impacts are more efficient than normal drill drivers. So yes, lots of tools to purchase. For now, not purchasing anything today because I don't have the money, to be frankly honest. Well, I do. I just am saving it for other things. I want to get the ball rolling on my certifications first, but I did want to take a minute and look at all the prices for things and get an idea of what I'm going to want to purchase first.
Hello?
Isabel, the sister.
Look at you.
I was gonna see if you wanted to ship my birth certificate so I can get a Michigan driver's license. Alright, talk to my sister. I need to figure out how shipping to an apartment works, because I've never done that. But she said there's probably... My sister thought there was probably just like some sort of... kind of like a P.O. box system, but for an apartment number. Because I need my birth certificate shipped. So I want to have my sister that's in Montana ship my birth certificate so that I can go in and get my Michigan driver's license. But I'm going to hit McDonald's, and then, I don't know, I might call it a night after that. Just like chill, casual, I don't know, spend a little time in my van just chilling.